This is Raju. Today I am going to discuss about Spring Boot admin. This is the one of the feature. So with the Spring Boot. So what is Spring Boot admin feature? When you deploy an application into any environment like production, right? So you have to monitor that application for managing that application, right? So why do you monitor that application? Suppose if application is not running, so how can you come to know what are the issues in that application, right? So whether that application is running fine or not, whether the resource utilization is happening with that application correctly or not. So there are many metrics information you can have to collect about the application, right? So how can we collect those information? So we have a feature called actuator. Actuator is like one of the which provides many endpoints like health to check the health of application, information to get the information about application, config properties, environment, metrics. Okay, so I'll show you what metrics endpoints gives. Metrics endpoints uh, provide information about like internal of the application like memory usage, garbage collection, statistics, thread usage, database connection pool, metrics, HTTP request counts, etc. So these metrics offer insights into how many application is performing. So these allowing you to monitor and behavior and resource usage. Okay, we have another endpoint called info, which provides the specific information about the application like version, environment details, any other custom information for understanding the application. We have another endpoint, health endpoint, right? So which produce status about the application whether is up or down. So like database connections, message queues, external services. So these information in a detail is provided by Spring Boot admin dashboard. So you can use this information to monitor and manage the application. Okay, for single application, suppose I will show you how to manage, use and monitor the applications information metrics health using a actuator endpoint. So you have to add a Spring Boot starter actuator dependency in the pom.xml, and in the application property you have to add these two configuration properties, management endpoint web base path as a actuator and web exposure include. We have to provide the endpoints, we have to check like health or information metrics environment, these are the endpoints we have to include. Okay, so here I am giving a port 8082 and application name as my Spring Boot app. Okay, let's run this application. Now application started on port 8082. Okay, if you access actuator endpoint which provides list of endpoints like health info config prop environment metrics. So let's try to access these endpoints. So you can see status is up, since application is running. Okay, let's access this info endpoint. So it is giving app name as a my Spring Boot app and description as a this is a simple sample Spring Boot application. Okay, so to get this application information, so we have to add a class called custom info contributor, where we can specify app as a app name and description. So we have to use a builder with details. So we are providing a these are the details for this application. Okay, here we are implementing info contributor. This is the custom info contributor which provides the information about this application. So we can have many custom information about this. So we can add many properties about this application. Okay, so this is how we can access each individual endpoint. So it gives all the metrics like memory used, compilation time, data size. Okay, this is how we can access all the metrics, health and information regarding the particular application using a Spring Boot actuator. Okay, but now we will come to Spring Boot admin feature. Why we need a Spring Boot admin feature? When you deployed a multiple application like application 1, 2, 3, n number of application, like so for these application we cannot go to each application and check each endpoints like what we done here, right? We need a one dashboard where we can access all the information of all these application. Suppose if we have a 10 application, so this dashboard gives 10 applications information, so that in a single point we can access all these applications information. How can we achieve this one? So that is we can achieve through Spring Boot admin. So let's try to implement how this Spring Boot admin we have to implement. Okay, so for this one we need a Spring Boot admin server. So which server which collects all the information of these applications. So each application act as a uplink admin client which provides all the information of particular application to admin server. So admin server will collect all the information of this application and show it in a admin dashboard. Okay, so here each application act as a admin client. So let's first develop a admin server. How to create a admin server, I will show you. So go to Spring Start Initializer. Search Spring Initializer in Google. It will go to this app. Now you select Maven and give the name Spring Boot admin server. Okay, so select Java as 70, packaging as jar. Now search for admin. You can see admin server, it supports only Spring Boot version less than 3.2.1. okay, let's change it to 3.1.8. let's add admin server. So now click on generate. So it generated. Now import this application. So I have already imported that application. You can see Spring Boot admin server. Let's go to pond.xml. Here you can see dependency added Spring Boot admin server. Okay, it has added multiple configuration in the XML. okay, let's make this application as a admin server. okay, so how to enable this admin server? So let's add a annotation, enable admin server. So this annotation makes this application as a admin server. okay, let's run this one. Let's close all other server. You can see the server is started in a 8081 port. So how to access this admin? So you have to give host and port where it is running. Click here. So you can see this is the admin dashboard, Spring Boot admin dashboard. You can see no applications registered. okay, so now we have to create a application, Spring Boot application, where these are the admin, act as a admin client, and which register this application into admin server. So you can create a application from here and import. So I have already created a one application called Spring Boot, simple Spring Boot demo. So here you have to add a dependency called decode centric Spring Boot admin starter client. This is the latest version of this dependency. okay, so apart from this one we don't need anything. So once we add a Spring Boot starter admin client, you have to go to application properties. So in this application properties you have to mention the server port it is running. I have given it as a 80802 and application name my Spring Boot app, and these are the two important configuration: endpoint base path as a actuator and web exposure include. I am giving these are the endpoints where we can access all these endpoints through Spring Boot admin dashboard. okay, so how to register this Spring Boot app into admin server? So these are the configuration, main important configuration to register this Spring Boot app application into Spring Boot admin server. okay, we have to provide a Spring Boot admin client URL. okay, here you have to specify the URL of where Spring Boot admin server is running. So Spring Boot admin server is running in 80, Spring Boot admin server is running in 8081 port. Okay, so same host and port we have to specify. So it is running in localhost and the port 8081. Okay, and we have to enable the client with a true and auto registration as a true, so that it automatically register with Spring Boot admin server when we start this application. Okay, we have to give Spring Boot instance name as the application name what we are specified here. Okay, let's run this application. You can see the application started in 808. You can see this is the notification you can see when the application registered with admin server. Let's go to dashboard. Let's try to access this dashboard. So here you can see application as a 1. Before it was a 0. No application was registered, instance 1. And all are up. It is giving the status. What are the applications are up. Okay, here you can see the application name, my Spring Boot app. So where it is running, click on that one. So here you can see this is the ID generated for each application. This is like registration ID. So when you click on this one, you will see this is the application information, where you can see all the information, metrics, environment, properties, information, metadata. Okay, let's go through each endpoint. Okay, so let's click on detail. Here you can see information about application. What is the app name? My Spring Boot app we have provided, and description we have provided as this is a Spring Boot application. Okay, so metadata, when it started, timestamp giving, health you can see a process, it is giving process ID, uptime, CPU usage, system CPU usage, number of CPUs. You can see garbage collection process. You can see thread, how many live threads, how many demo threads, how many peak live. You can see graph also for live and daemon. So you can see heap memory usage, how much it is used. For this one you can see 36.8 MB. What is the size, what is the max size. This is the non-memory heap information. You can see the graph. Okay, let's go to metrics. So you can add any metrics you want to see. Okay, I have added a application ready, and choose the application, click add, and what value, integer, I have selected integer, so it is added. So let's remove one duplicate one. Okay, this is the, you can see metrics. So environment, so it has encrypted, it is not showing any values of, so local server port where it is running. So system properties, it is showing all the system properties. Okay, so here you can see configuration properties. So these are the configuration properties which is internally used by Spring Boot application. It is an auto configured by Spring Boot application. So this is how you can go through all these information and check health of the application metrics and see and how to check. You can see the garbage collection, memory, threads. So based on this information you can like decide how many how much memory you have to allocate, what is the CPU utilization, how the memory is utilized. So that suppose if you have added a database, so you can see database pool collections. If you are connecting to Redis, so you can see how the connections happen to Redis, how the message you can see message queues if you have connected to RabbitMQ. So all this information you can use and monitor the application in production. Okay, so this is very helpful to monitor any application in production, so that you can decide what to do next, like how much resource you have to allocate for each application, and if there is any issue, how to uh, trace that application issue, and you can resolve those issues, so that you can maintain a healthy application running in a production, right? So this is how we have registered one application with the admin server. So we have to register all the applications with the admin server. The same way we have done for one application, we have to do for all other application. Let me show you for another application. Spring Boot simple app. I have created one more application. So in the pom.xml I have added a dependency Spring Boot admin starter client with the same version, and in the application properties file I have provided a server port and application name as a my Spring simple app, and these are the common properties we provided in other application called simple Spring Boot demo. Here you can see how these are the properties we have to provide to register this Spring Boot simple app with Spring Boot admin server app. Okay, so I have provided a admin server URL here, and I enabled true auto registration to, and here instance name as a Spring Boot application name. Okay, it takes this application name. So let's start this application. So application is started in 8083 port. Okay, so it is taking, yeah, you can see here application is registered. Let's go to Spring Boot admin server dashboard. You can see here applications number 2, instance 2, because we have registered 2 applications. So what are the 2 applications we have registered? First we have registered my Spring Boot app which is running in 8082. The second application we have registered is my Spring simple app which is running in 8083 app. Let's click on this one. Okay, so we have to click on this one, so it will open this one. So we have seen earlier, this is the registration ID for this particular application. Okay, so when we click on that one, so it gives all this information. So here you can see no information provided because we have not created any custom information class. So simple Spring Boot application demo, in this demo we had created a custom info contributor class. We are providing these are the application information, but in this application we have not created that class, so it is not giving any information. Okay, we will go through. See, you can see metadata, health is up since application is running, process, the same, all the information you can see here which you see in the other application, right? Configuration properties, environment, metrics, all these things you can see. So guys, this is how you can access the Spring Boot admin dashboard in the production server. So you can manage all the application in a single point. You can see all the information about application like health, information, metrics of the application, environment. So you can manage all the application. If any issue with the application, you can trace out there, you can fix those application issues. Okay, so thank you so much. Please subscribe my channel. Thank you.